morning, friends. I am on my second day at work. My new job as an Uber driver again, which is so exciting. So excited to have this opportunity. It's still dark outside, so I have the light on while I'm driving to my next ride here. But I wanted to tell you about the experience I just had with my one Uber rider, this young guy that was driving to work, and there's some cues I listen for that inform me of where a person's coming from, usually in their context in life. And I wasn't sure if I was picking up the right cues, but I was. This individual, we were just chatting about how challenging life is, how much of a grind it is. You know, you're just kind of like striving, and it's hard. Yes, I agree. But then he started talking about how, you know, you just gotta like escape the matrix, and that's the cue word that I was listening for. I'm like, I've heard this before, because but I wasn't sure if that was where he was going. But he kept on, you know, infusing this idea of like trying to escape the matrix to thrive in this life. And then finally, as our ride is approaching its conclusion, he says, "So, have you ever heard of a guy by the name of Andrew Tate?" And like, there it is. I was very familiar with that word because this is a word that Andrew Tate often uses, escaping the matrix. And I said, yeah, I've heard of him. He says, yeah, he's got a lot of really good things to say. He said he's really influential and inspirational, and you should definitely listen to him because he's got some good ideas. And I asked him, what kind of things do you appreciate that you know, compel you to subscribe to his outlook on life? And he gave his perspective, saying, you know, he likes how he does business and, you know, is successful and that kind of thing. And then he asked me, what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts? And I said, well, I've actually watched a lot of videos by this individual, Andrew Tate. In case you're unfamiliar, Andrew Tate just kind of hit it big on social media, where he was everywhere, and then he was banned everywhere at some point, and now he's in the midst of some legal troubles, but still very, very much a voice that has been carried far by social media, sadly, in my perspective. But I told him my perspective on Andrew Tate is one where I don't find him very compelling. In fact, I've watched so many of his videos where he actively contradicts his stories ongoing. I told him about the view that he has of women that I find so abhorrent, where basically he thinks women are not equal to men and they should be subjugated, and he does some really unethical things whereby he will convince a woman that he loves her only to get her to come, and he'll promise her, you know, that they'll get married or whatever and have a family and life, and he'll be devoted to her. But all his ambition is, as he states, is to get them to become webcam girls for him, where they sell their bodies to other men, and he takes all the profits. He gives them 30% and tells them that they're really getting 50%, and then he just kind of uses them, and it's just such an awful way of seeing. And then he talks about the many men that he milks for their money, just with the promises of what could be with his webcam girls. And I just find it so disgusting, really. So I told him he's an individual that is very influential. I won't begrudge him that. He is extremely influential, but for the wrong reasons. And so, yeah, he agreed, saying, yeah, he's got some funny ideas. And I said, and that's why I'm very concerned, because someone like you or I could listen between the lines and choose what's good from what's not good. And there's not much good that I hear from Andrew Tate. I've watched a lot of reviews on his course that he has, and it sounds like it's more of a sham. And yeah, I just just the way that he takes up space in this world, I found it very lacking in this component of integrity. Andrew would say in many of his interviews that he's one of the most humble people, one of the most successful, all the things, and he's just, in my perspective, arrogant, obnoxious, and I mean, I usually don't have this perspective of many, but when a person gets to this place with me where I've seen enough of who they are intentionally, I don't mince words, and I think he's one of those individuals that is not compelling. He deserves my attention so that I can dismantle his ideologies, and I can call out the BS, if you will, that he spews. And so I encourage this young guy, saying, hey, listen, for my part, unlike you, I don't find him compelling, and I don't find him one worthwhile following. And so I've never been an actual Andrew Tate fan, but this one here came quite unexpectedly. But in the midst of engaging with this writer of mine, I still wanted to be honest with him in the way that I was sharing my perspective, and respectful, saying, hey, I'm not sure what you found compelling, but for my part, I did not find him compelling. And I challenged him to reconsider his perspective, and maybe consider someone who's more worthwhile being followed, someone who's more worthwhile giving his, following someone else's influence that's more worthwhile. So yeah, I'm not sure if you are familiar with this individual, Andrew Tate, and what he has been into, but if you have any perspectives, I'd love to hear your take. I know amongst guys he has a massive following, especially from what I hear amongst Muslim men especially. But yeah, for my part, I've often thought, man, if I ever had the opportunity to debate him, I would love the opportunity, but I would want someone who is a really strong facilitator or moderator to be keeping tabs on that engagement, because he's again an individual that does not respect boundaries, and he does not engage with integrity. He's an individual, I just came up with this earlier as I was thinking about this last writer, but he's an individual that I would say is integrity deficient. He does not have integrity, and I think a lot in his life is unraveling for good reason, because he lacks integrity, and it's just all catching up with him now. Now, I can relate, because I once was that individual who, in a different sphere, in a different manner, also lacked integrity. I was integrity deficient once upon a time, and I'm just so grateful that we live in a time where any one of us, I feel this with all of my heart, I think any one of us, even such an individual as obnoxious as Andrew Tate, can regain integrity and live with integrity, should we take those appropriate steps to becoming transparent and genuinely wanting to see a change inside of us, one where we shift from dishonesty and awful intentions to a better way, where we say, can I live in this world and take up space in this world in a good way? So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this whole topic of Andrew Tate and his influence in the world, and how he has impacted the ideology, the convictions of so many guys. I would love to hear from y'all. Anyway, I hope you're having a great Tuesday back at work, or wherever your course of life is taking you. I'll touch base with you soon. Bye.